Okay, today we're going to take a look at the roof block into a snake disarm, which is a basic defense and disarm against a stick attack when you have a stick of your own. Now, in and of itself, if I've got Chris here and he throws an angle one, which is a descending forehand, I'm stepping forward and to my right, and whether it's 45 degrees or off of this line, more like 35 or so degrees, that depends on how far away I am from him. The angle closes in more, the more there is the need to go toward him, toward this other shoulder actually, so that my shoulder lines up with his and his stick is on the outside and my arm can cover it. But there's a problem with this. The problem is when he swings through at full speed, you can't even imagine getting inside of that. And so what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to go in for a roof block and a snake disarm when I'm standing directly in front of him here. You see, when we're fighting, we're moving. And if I'm off to this side a little bit and he throws it, well now there's a different angle. All right, there's a different place relative to this center line coming off from him to me, where I can get an inside position on that arm. So this is my point, is that whenever I said there's a common tendency now to sort of disqualify, say the roof block to a snake in some circles, where they say, well, I try it, but I can't get in. That's because they're starting from here, and yeah, you're walking right into the stick. And you might roof it, but you might not be able to get inside and snag that arm. So again, the problem has to do with range for one thing, but it also has to do with position laterally. If I'm directly in front of him, or even off to this side a little bit, in the moment that I decide to go this way, I'm going to walk right into that stick. Okay? But if I'm a little bit over here, then it's much more viable to get in and wrap that arm. And what people tend to do who fail at the snake disarm are the ones who have this idea that they're going to go this far and just wrap the arm, and that they can still end up at arm's reach, at arm's length, to get this disarm. And the problem is you'll tend to come up short when you do it that way. What you have to do is, like a missile, you go straight for him. I'm blasting right past the range where I'm just wrapping the arm. And I'll actually get to snake disarm as he's trying to pull his stick out. So it ends up being like this, boom, all the way through. And then as he's pulling it out, boom, there. And then following up. So this has you going past that range. So just in case he's trying to back out and hit you or whatever, that you're closing on him. It's similar to the mindset when you're going for a double leg takedown. You don't go up to him, you blow through him. And your footwork has a lot to do with that. Whether you're penetrating deeply enough to really get in there, and whether it's the case of the double or the snake disarm, getting a hold of what you're going after. There's a tendency to reach out for stuff, but not go to it with your body, and that ends up being a mistake. It ends up leading to failure a lot of the time. Because he's not standing still. He's hitting, he's moving, and you really have to close past the range. It also protects you, because if the stick sort of gets through a little bit, if it bounces off your shoulder or your back, it's not the worst thing in the world, especially if it's the puño and not the very end of his stick that's in some way bouncing off. But you don't want to be here thinking, I'm going to do this. No, it doesn't work that way. His hand will go through. So instead, I go toward that shoulder. I would try to do it when I'm a little off to this side. You know, as we're moving from here, that's going to be my entry. I'm going to blow right through to you. And then as he's trying to pull that out, then I can kind of bring it up and through. Let's look at how I'm doing that. If I'm here, I've got it pinched here and up. As I'm bringing it up so he can't pull his arm straight up. If I leave it here, he's just going to yank it out. And as soon as he gets that shoulder and that foot away from me, he can hit me again. All right? So instead, I bring this up, and I might even hit him, boom, once or twice, and then come down with as if you're hitting with a hammer fist. As you're pulling this shoulder away, shifting your way back as you turn, and breaking down, and then follow up. So there are a number of ways that a snake disarm can actually go down, as far as it finally his weapon leaving his grasp. But leading up to that, you have to consider position and range before you even go in and try to snake that arm. Otherwise, it's just a roof block, and your alive hand has no business even reaching out there and trying to do anything. You find yourself at Largamon when he's throwing, hitting, and then you're coming in and you just expect to work off of your backhand. And then maybe you'll get a disarm off of the return backhand. And you use his forehand as just something to be deflected while you're going in, while you're thinking about, maybe getting a disarm there, or maybe not. Or maybe going to grappling and bear hugging him, trying to take him down before he would maybe give you a disarm, or maybe it doesn't even go to a disarm.